Hi, everyone. Today, Grace Grossman joins me to talk about her book, Chill Out and Cheer Up. Grace is a writer, yoga instructor, wellness coach, and she has a passion for helping people find peace within. She finds sense through writing and strength through God. She believes people are too pressured to find happiness when it all comes down to loving themselves and others. Her mission is to show people it is okay to feel anxiety and stress. It can help you grow when handled with care and compassion. Her nonfiction books include humorous and humble accounts of Grace's spiritual journey to show that reality is always going to hit, but you can get through it. She connects with readers in an encouraging and lighthearted way through a steady flow of engaging content, including practical exercises, questions, and good laughs. I'm so excited to talk to you today about your book, Chill Out and Cheer Up.
Nice to see it. I like all your
My little
tabs in it.
I just loved it. There are so many things I wanted to go back to, so I put tabs on there. You have so many great nuggets of wisdom, and I can't wait for you to talk more about this. So tell me what motivated you to write your book.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me that because it's kind of random at my age to kind of come up with such a book, like what steers you that way. I think I mentioned it in the book itself that basically, in short, long story short, is that my best friend passed away when he was 21 to mental health issues and an assortment of issues, but mostly that. And at that time, I hadn't gone through any mental health issues myself yet, but that was, obviously like really hard for me. And through the grieving process, I felt this urge to heal myself by writing. So like I was writing a lot, and we used to write letters to each other actually. So I was kind of like writing letters to him. And then just one day I was like, I think I should write a book and like dedicate it to him and like other people, like that are going through similar situations, and for them to not feel the same. And it was just from that, like I moved to Spain at that time, and I remember I was sat in a park and I was like, yeah, I'm going to plan this book and I'm going to write it, and it's going to make me feel better. And it did. It really helped in the healing process for sure.
Yes, yeah. Many writers write to heal, and in the process of you writing these words, you're also helping others too, which is phenomenal. So I loved it. I think you hit everything on the head with just like the tips and the exercises and the practices, and it really did cheer me up, and then I'm like chilling out too.
Nice.
I just love the title and the cover. It's just so uplifting, the color yellow. So
I know, it's my favorite color. It
yeah,
just
I
suits the
love it.
title too.
Yes, yes. So talk about what topics you cover in the book and why you chose those certain ones.
Yeah, it's a good question. Because obviously, like before you write a book, you're like, well, what should the contents be? And I wanted it to kind of hold the negative emotions as well as the positive emotions and like balance them out. So yeah, the first 5 chapters I think are surrounded around negative emotions such as fear, greed, doubt, and how we can handle them in this modern world. And then the last 5 chapters are centered around positive influences in life to feel more fulfilled, like nature, connection, solitude. So yeah, that's a bit about the contents, because I kind of wanted the balance, going from like negative into the positive. So I think that's why I started it that way as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got the sense that with all the negative emotions in the beginning, and you're just like you can feel them, and it's okay to feel them and to accept them. And that is so true. Everybody has negative emotions. It's just human nature, but it's what you do with those emotions to help you get through it. Like when you say it's okay to feel pressure. And I think a lot of times for me, I try to fight against it. Like, I don't want it. I don't want the pressure. But I loved how you said to accept it. And I think that's very helpful to reframe some of the negative emotions that you talk about.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, like you just said, reframing our mind on the way we perceive our emotions and handle them is very important to like get through them. And like often, like you just said as well, we kind of push pressure away or we push fear away and just like ignore it, but it will come up. Like it won't leave you alone. And so that was kind of what I was wanting to show in my book, like how to treat yourself right in handling your certain emotions that will always be there,
Yeah.
with us. It's just the way in which we deal with them that makes life a bit better.
Yes, I agree. I agree. So, what do you want readers to take away from your book?
Hmm. um, how to chill out and cheer up,
Yeah.
basically.
That sums it up.
um, yeah, I mean, like I would like readers to take their own personal lessons from it, in the sense of like how to feel more accepted in themselves. Yeah, I think I want readers to accept themselves through my book and become aware of themselves more.
Mhm.
So awareness and acceptance are quite important, I would say, in the objective of it.
Yeah, yeah. So what is your favorite part of the book?
I never really thought that actually. Good question again. Well, my favorite chapter to write was nature. Because I just love nature, you can probably tell, right? And I think for me, because it's just so simple, like how healing it can be, I really wanted to just share that, and from like how I mentioned my past experiences and like how nature personally has a healing effect on me. Yeah, I think that was my favorite chapter to write because it was just so like light and easy.
Yeah.
And I did it while like sitting in a park or by the lake, or sorry, the river. So yeah, I really felt connected when I wrote that.
That's wonderful. Yeah, so actually, I had never heard of vitamin N until I read your book. And then I was like, what's vitamin N? And I was like, oh, it's nature. And I also resonated with that chapter. And it's so funny that you picked that because that was what I was feeling too as I was reading it. And the part where you said that forests actually can heal you, well, I don't know if heal totally, but lessen cancer. The cells in cancer, get rid
Mm-hmm.
of the cells, most of them. And I thought, oh my gosh, I need to go. Not that I have cancer or anything, but I was like, wow, I didn't even realize that a forest could be that healing. And I actually,
Yeah.
I want to go sit in a forest now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like when I was researching to write, when I was writing this chapter, I really was like interested more about forest bathing in Japan and how it's also now like quite popular with tourists to go there and do this forest bathing. And basically all it is going into the forest and hugging trees or simply just being in the woods
Yeah.
has this insane effect on us.
Yeah.
And like kills off cancer cells and gives us good cells. Like it's like in simple terms.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's kind of mind-boggling how nature really is our medicine,
It is.
and we
And
we
now
don't realize.
yeah, and now I understand the whole tree hugging because I've heard of it. Oh, they're a tree hugger. And I went on vacation with my family a few years ago, and my daughter was too young to really know. She went up to a palm tree and she actually hugged it. And I
Oh,
know, isn't that it's like she knew at a young age that
crazy.
trees are so loving and healing, and yeah, so I really love that chapter. So tell us how long it took to write your book.
Yeah, it took Around a year and a half, 2 years.
Mm.
I would say 2 years in total with like editing it and then getting an editor myself and you know like all of those little things that add up. So I would say I don't know if that's considered a long time or not, but kind of.
Every writer is different. It's probably
Mm.
normal. I mean, that seems average. Yeah, so I just love how you formatted the book, and I love the poems. And the way you
Oh.
write when you rhyme things, I really love that. And also the recap. So I just, because once I got to the end of the chapter, I just like some of them where you just said, okay, now just a reminder, and went into what the chapter was about, and or just the quick sentences of what to take away from that chapter. I thought that was great.
Mhm.
I like that.
Oh, that's really nice to hear.
Yeah.
With poems, I have this tendency to just rhyme. Like I'm a yoga teacher too, and I really notice it when I teach. I'll just like go into this like flow of just rhyming.
Yes.
So I kind of wanted to bring that out in the book, to be a bit quirky or different. And a
Yeah.
lot of people have said the same thing that they resonated with it. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't even consider myself a poet or anything, like I kind of think a bit like, I don't know, weird poems. So it's nice to hear.
Yeah, well, it's fun. It makes it a little bit more lighthearted and yeah,
Mm,
quirky. Like you said, I like quirky.
yeah.
Um, the drawings too. So did you draw all of those? No.
No, I think I wrote it right in the back of the book.
Oh.
While I was in the mental clinic, that was when I was going through the whole process of like actually wanting to put my book out there. Like,
Mhm.
I didn't have anything to focus on except for my mental health, obviously. But I really had this urge at that point, like I think this is the time. And so there was a girl there, and she was also suffering from similar mental health issues to me, and she would just draw, and I was like, wow, like I really like what you draw. And she's like, yeah, I'm an artist, I do this for a living, blah blah blah. Showed me all of her paintings, and I said, hey, like we're both really bored. Like, how about you draw me some pictures for my book? And she was like, yeah, I think that would be really cool. Why not? And I went through every chapter with her, explained it, and then we kind of like bounced off each other for ideas. And a lot of people have said they're quite childlike drawings. Like, I think that's her style, and I just really liked it. I think it really fit in with the interpretation of a chapter before you read it,
Yeah.
like what you're getting from it. And I think I just gave it that little bit extra, because I originally really wanted a lot of pictures, drawings in my
Mhm.
book, but unfortunately I didn't have the time or the money to really like invest in that part.
Yes.
So when this artist in Berlin says that she'll do it for free for me, like we're both in a mental clinic together, why not, So I quite like that story behind it.
Oh, that's so nice that you collaborated and you found something that you had said you were bored. So this sounds like it was a good diversion for you and bring something
Yeah, totally.
exciting while you were there. Do you want to talk a
Exactly.
little bit about your experience with the mental clinic?
Yeah, I can. I think I've always aimed to be very open about it on my social media, or like just in general with friends, family, and strangers. To be honest, I think I'm, obviously, from reading my book, I'm there to break the taboo on mental health.
Yes.
So that's why I'm very open in saying, yeah, I was in a mental clinic, and it wasn't just for a week or so. I was there for a few months. It was a very hard and challenging time. And it was very I don't even know how to describe it. Like it wasn't nice. You feel like you're in a hospital and you feel like you're ill, like you're very aware of the fact that you're there for your illness. Um and being surrounded by other people and like, with mental health issues is also like overwhelming and yeah, very like consuming of your energy as well. So At times it was like, why am I here? I feel like I'm getting worse.
Yeah.
At other times it was like, okay, one day at a time. So in general, my experience, I don't know, like maybe I couldn't have done it without being there, like get through my challenging times. But I do look back on it, you know, with appreciation,
Yeah.
especially at that time where I really didn't know what other option I had, so to say. Yeah.
Was there any other option? I mean, I'm not familiar with, I mean, what other options are there?
Well, that's the thing. It's like when you're really like at the end of your tether with your mental health, like you don't see any hope.
Yeah.
You know, I tried to commit suicide, and I think from that point, my best friend said to me, "You can't be in your flat anymore. Like we have to take you to the mental clinic."
Okay.
And at that point, I think it was very like eye-opening for me as well, where I was like, "Oh shit, I think you're right." Like I just didn't see any other option, you know, like I couldn't be alone. I didn't trust myself being alone.
Yeah.
I wasn't necessarily seeking out medication. Like I didn't want to go down that route, but then because it was so bad at that time, I thought, well, there's kind of no other way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, obviously you can go to your family or your friends, but it's a lot of pressure on them. So I just kind of wanted to take the pressure off my best friend who was really helping me, my dad, and just actually put myself first. So yeah. I mean, there are other options out there for people who are listening that are maybe going through similar situations, like you can call, there's lots of
Yeah.
helplines. But if you don't trust yourself to be alone, I think the mental clinic is, you know, the place to be.
Well, you were right where you needed to be. And you wrote a book and it's amazing. And you survived this. And um, I think you're going to help a lot of people with this book. I mean, it's just, you could tell you put your heart and soul into this, and it was something you were meant to write. And I'm so glad that it helped you through, your hard time too, and you're helping
Yeah.
others. So yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, I think it could help a lot of people to know that there are options, to that
Yeah.
there is a way through. There is, and now you
Mm-hmm.
got me tearing up. I'm gonna just get rid of my tears here.
Bless you.
Um, so so let's tell me what's unique about your book.
Well, I guess we've mentioned quite a lot of unique factors with like the poems and the
Yeah.
pictures and the summaries. But I think what you just mentioned, I really appreciate hearing as well from someone I don't know. You know, like you can tell that I put my heart into it. And I think that's what makes it unique, that you can feel that I've put my all into it, and you can, I think you feel understood. Like I've done it in a manner, or like I write in a style where it's very much like flow of subconscious, like diary like, isn't it really? Like I'm talking to you. And a lot of people have said, you know, it's like I've just been speaking with a friend reading a book and I don't even know you. Or like, you know, some readers will reach out to me, like strangers, and just say like, I feel like I know you and you've really helped me. And I think that's what makes it unique, that like I'm your friend when you open this book, you
Yes.
know. And I really mean that as well. Like I think we all kind of need somebody to feel like somebody understands us. So I
Yeah.
think that's what my unique style is there, that I'm there to understand you and hear you.
Yeah, you could tell you're very authentic. Your writing is very authentic. You're very real, and you just put it out there. And I, I just loved it. And yeah, I think it's gonna, a lot of people, whoever reads this is gonna get it and gonna understand, and it's gonna calm them. They're gonna chill out and they're gonna
Yeah.
cheer up. And yeah, so I can't say enough things about this book, and thank you so much for writing it. Thank you.
Oh, well.
So where can readers find it?
Yeah, well, it's on the good old Amazon,
Yeah.
available as a paperback or an ebook. And if you have Kindle Unlimited, it's free.
Okay.
So yeah, that's where it's at. Buy a copy today if you want to feel more, I guess, fulfilled in life, or even if you feel fulfilled in life, if you want to like learn more about yourself, you know.
Mhm. I agree. I agree. Are you writing anything now or what's next?
Oh, such a good question, Annie. Um, like I don't know if you can tell by my reaction, but like I want to write another book and it's
Yeah.
really on my heart, but obviously life gets in the way. You
Yeah.
know, with this book, I really feel like I dedicated like 50% of my time every day to it. Like I really
Yeah.
like I only worked 50% and then I did
Yeah.
writing. Unfortunately, I can't live a life like that. But I do hope to write a book soon. It's there, like I feel it's there, but the time will come.
Yeah. Well, everything in divine time, right?
Yeah.
We have to keep telling ourselves, we don't want to pressure ourselves with having to keep what's next, what's next, what's next. It's okay to be
Exactly.
like in you say it's not having more, it's about being. And I just love that
That's
that
really nice.
concept. That you wrote that.
Oh, I didn't even
That's why you like it so much.
realize.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. It was so fun to talk to you today. And
Me too.
yeah, and we'll be watching to see what comes and I'll be looking for you on social media and so well, I enjoyed our conversation.
Yeah, me too, Annie. Thank you so much for having me
Thanks.
and for this soulful chat.
Yes.